Good morning. My name is Tim Law, and I'm here on behalf of Ending Clergy Abuse. Ending Clergy Abuse is an international association of survivors and activists from all around the world, 25 plus countries, all 6 continents. So thank you for being here this morning. We're here today specifically representing global clergy survivors and allies, urging the bishops, the USCCB, to condemn this Bannon anti-gay rally in Baltimore. Catholic groups, these are Catholic groups equating homosexuality with pedophilia, demonizing gay survivors of clergy abuse. This is not right. It's not even Catholic. It's not Catholic teaching, and we need to stand up and speak out condemning this. Peter Isley is here with me, along with Sarah Pearson, also from Ending Clergy Abuse, and Peter is going to say more on this. Peter?
Thanks, Tim. Ending Clergy Abuse is a global organization of survivors and activists and human rights lawyers and journalists from around the planet. And we're specifically wanting to reach out to them today. What's going to be happening this afternoon is something that's so unconscionable and so dangerous and so disgusting for the hundreds of thousands of victims of clergy sexual abuse around the world. A major platform of the Catholic right wing, which has become more and more a very consequential political force in our country, that is backed by Catholic donors that are millionaires and literally billionaires. This is not really a religious event taking place out there, or even with these meetings of bishops. There's no more secular an organization probably right now than the American Catholic bishops. One of the major platforms of the right-wing Catholic political movement is that homosexuality equals pedophilia. This attempt to criminalize or recriminalize gay people has to be utterly and completely denounced by the Roman Catholic Church, by these bishops, and especially by Pope Francis, who, no matter how much you like the guy, has not done this. He has actually affirmed the basic teaching of the Roman Catholic Church, which is that to be gay is to be wrong. Now, you can do this the nice way, I guess, or the hard way. The nice way is eliminate this community of people in their identity through being pastoral and nice to them, and they'll eventually come around to, I guess, being that way, heterosexual, or you can do it the hard way, which is exactly what these people are doing. Now, it's a very difficult message for some people to hear, that there are two sides, apparently, with everything, and that we've got liberal Catholics and we've got conservative Catholics, but we don't think about the assumptions that they share. And on this issue, they literally actually share the exact same assumption. So the point that we want to make today to survivors, there is a very large group of survivors within the Catholic Church who have been raped, sexually assaulted, and molested, who are LGBTQ individuals. And think of the message that this is sending to them. Think of the harm that this is sending to them. So we have a very vulnerable and precarious community of victim survivors who are not being supported and advocated by our community, by our Christian community. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. So, we have to make this abundantly clear, whether someone wants to listen to it or not, to equate, as they are doing today, and they're going to do today. Milos Yiannopoulos is going to do it, who once supported sexual relations between children and adults and has now switched sides. He went through conversion therapy, he says, or something. I don't know. His rhetoric post and pre-conversion is exactly the same because it's based on hatred, basically. He's going to be talking about it. Steve Bannon is going to be talking about it. Frank Boris and Church Militant are going to be talking about it, about the homo predators. They're not going to be talking about the hetero predators. They're going to be talking about the homo predators. They're going to be at it. And then Archbishop Vigano, the hero of their side, when he tried to accuse Pope Francis of covering up for Cardinal McCarrick, which, by the way, has never been disproved because Francis was in that loop. He's going to be supposed to be talking. And when he made that move and that play to make this accusation, what was the reason for it? Because he says it in his letter. Because homosexuality equals pedophilia. So that is the central platform of what they're going to be doing today. And where's the pushback to it? Where's the argument against it? What they're doing here today is to assert identity politics. That's exactly what they're doing. Identity politics is a creation of the right. That's where it got created. And that's what they're doing. So why is homosexuality a threat? For instance, because it's a threat to their so-called Catholic identity. That's why. So they're going to be presenting what they say is going to be a universal message of Christianity. It is a false universality. Every survivor that's been raped and assaulted, as I was as a child, what happens to you when you're traumatized in that way is that you find out you lose your identity. It is the loss of identity that takes place when you're assaulted and raped. And what we're here today to say as survivors together is to join our survivors, to support our LGBTQ survivors together as a community of justice, as a universal community of truth. Oh, yeah, there.
Hopefully some of you guys were able to get a room in there. It was awesome. Almost every time I pop in, oh, hi, Bishop. I'm the guy.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Sarah Pearson. I'm a survivor of sexual abuse, and I'm here today because I want to affirm our support as an organization as Ending Clergy Abuse, that we stand with the LGBTQ community. And we want to say a little bit, or I want to say a little bit about what we're not focusing on when we're only talking about the Eucharist and whether or not President Biden can take communion, which is important. We shouldn't be turning people away. But at the same time, we have to point out that this year alone, it's been publicly reported on that thousands of unmarked graves exist in Canada and the United States of Indigenous children who died, who were murdered at Catholic-run Native American boarding schools. That hasn't been mentioned yet. And academics in the United States have estimated as many as 40,000 children died in these schools. Now, the USCCB in 2019 put out a report about this, and in the report, they did not once mention boarding school or residential school, and that should tell you what they value. I think it's important to note a budget is a moral document, an agenda is a moral document. It tells us about what they hold dear, what they prioritize, and when they choose not to talk about survivors of sexual abuse, when they choose not to talk about the horrific acts that members of their organization, clergy, priests, nuns, bishops, teachers, school administrators, all knew about the death and the sexual abuse of these Native American children, and they did nothing. They buried them in graves that they did not mark. In many instances, they never notified their families. And today, instead of focusing on that, they've chosen to focus on their own culture war that they've started to distract us from the crimes that they've committed of sexual abuse and rape of children. So we're here today to affirm our support for the LGBTQ community. We know that the LGBTQ community is overrepresented among the population of survivors, that almost 50% of transgender people have experienced sexual abuse. And these survivors today, when they look to events like Church Militant, what they're doing, it's insulting. And we want to let them know that there's a home for them in our community of ending clergy abuse, that we see them, we love them, and we believe them, and that we welcome them to join us. And we just want to say to the bishops, shame. Shame on you for not recognizing what's going on here. Shame on you for putting this culture war ahead of people's suffering. And shame on you for not recognizing and talking about the horrific actions that people who represented your organization, who were supposed to be taking care of children, did not do. So with that being said, I want to thank everybody for coming out today. And if you want to learn more about our organization, you can follow us. It's ECA Global, or go to our website, www.ecaglobal.org. Thanks.
Thank you.